Welcome back, everybody, to the October Country Comics Podcast.
There we go.
This is Devon.
What's up, gamers? It's Will.
Gamers?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. You guys aren't in the... Alright, well, it's a internet joke. The kids will get it.
What kids?
I don't know. The guys around my age, I guess. I don't know.
Introduce yourself, high-pitched, disembodied voice.
I'm sorry. Hi, this is Nicolette Sheridan.
And, of course. Anyway. So, yeah, we're back.
We're back with the first season 2.
I love that you
great.
broke this up into seasons.
Is that what we're going to do
Why
now?
not?
Seasons?
I guess. Because
Yeah,
we're probably, theoretically, we're probably going to have to take a break when I go back to school again.
Oh, that's a good
We
point.
can make
So,
we
you
can make
know.
it a 2 every 2 week thing instead of a weekly thing then. You know, it's just playing around it. I mean, we could do that. That's fine. I mean, when you start having to be in plays again, maybe everybody. Yeah, listen.
Yeah, 'cause I also have to-
Will Hennessy here. He is in plays at SUNY New Paltz. Go see him. He's fantastic.
Thank
Are you
you.
allowed to promote them? Because wasn't there 4 plays last year or last semester that were for students only?
No, there.
Or was
well,
it just a vicious rumor?
no. I mean, there was the Miami theater players. They couldn't legally promote their show for a while because they didn't get the full rights to Heathers or something. I don't remember the whole, but yeah, no, it's all.
I think they
Wait.
didn't. I think they couldn't put that on their show because Heathers is a
The one I was
suicide
in.
play.
The one I was in.
First of all, Heathers is an amazing work of cinematography.
You're a fool.
I love that movie. That is one of my goodnight movies.
Okay.
Yeah, you buffed me up a little bit. I've been in one show so far, and I was the audio engineer for another one last semester, and all those were free to go to, but I wasn't in most of the other ones. It wasn't
Actually, you're wrong, sir. Okay, I'm not hyping you up.
Well,
I
you've been
have
to the-
seen you.
yeah.
I have seen you in a fantastic play called Sconarelle.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
that was
it's
what
amazing.
It was
I remember that name.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very unique. It's a very yeah.
I was dressed like a neon pride flag. It was great. I had a judge wig. I had a bright neon green jacket with neon orange sleeves, or it was a neon orange undershirt, and then this space pants, these space tights they gave me that were black with blue and purple, dust.
I thought they were
clouds
green and
stars
pink.
and stuff.
I was wondering
The show
I
I
had
saw you in,
something
you had
pink.
I
had red shoes. I don't think I wore anything pink. I'd have
No,
to
you had
relook
it
at
was
that.
it was the pants you were wearing were pink and green.
They did have pink on them, but the only green thing I had was the revolutionary jacket. I'll put a picture on screen for the viewers.
This is gonna be amazing.
Just for your
It's
viewing
so
pleasure.
good.
Here you go for those of you
It was-
viewing it on YouTube.
I
so
was
amazing.
totally wondering where all this shit from my wardrobe went. And
Is that why you didn't go to
I,
Pride this year?
yeah, because literally my Pride outfit was super shrunk down, and they never returned my clothes.
Yeah, no. I have a Snapchat. I knew a lot of people that went down this year, and it looked pretty good this year. There was a small. I will say this. There was a small corner they blocked off for all the hardcore Christian people, because
Perfect.
my friend went to that corner and Snapchatted it. It was this really small gated area. And the first thing that you notice in big bold letters is homos go to hell and hell's on fire.
I would have stood with
you
them.
took off work to go do this.
No,
bro.
I would have stood with them.
I think I would have
Because
just been
I
bro.
love you. No. Not being weird or anything like that. I love those people. I do. They have a special place in my heart. It tickles me to no end that this is your life.
People took off work for that, man. That
I know.
fucking boggles my mind.
No, it's funny that you say that though. What you said, Steve, about wanting to go stand over with him. I think it's funny because you guys are both familiar with Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. When Kevin Smith's movie Dogma came out, people were going out, they were protesting the movie, and they had all these picket lines and everything, with these signs about how, it's blasphemous, and Kevin Smith was going to hell, and how dare these people So what they did, so Kevin Smith's watching this on the news, and he turns to his wife. He's like, "Hey," he's like, let's go." She goes, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, let's go down and picket with the people picketing." She goes, "Why would you do that?" He
Why
goes,
not?
"I just want to see what they're mad about." So they go down there, and he has like this sign. I forgot what the sign said, but it had some kind of profanity on it, like oh yeah, something F them or something like that. And the one lady comes up to me, she's like, "Look, we really appreciate your support, but can you do it without the vulgarity?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure." And he like had to scribble out the profanity to be able to like pick it with them.
Did he film it?
I don't know. I don't.
Have you ever seen a guy that goes to like the Westboro Baptist Church like homophobic like protests? That dude is hilarious. He goes and he interviews them, and sometimes he puts like a dildo on the mic. And he'll, put it in front of their faces, and they won't notice. And he'll even be like, we didn't catch that one. My audio guy's saying we didn't catch that one. Can you speak a little closer in the mic?" They'll practically be putting their mouth on the thing. It's so funny. Yeah, when they notice it, it's pretty good too. But
so comic books.
We are a comic book podcast.
We are a comic book.
To get back into the lane.
Comic book and pop culture podcast.
We are, yeah.
We are not. Yeah, we're a comic book podcast.
Pop culture.
Yeah,
That was just
we
that's just
talk
our
about
beginning.
movies and
Well,
other
I don't know.
things. Like one thing we are going to talk about before the night's over is Cyberpunk 2077 and the fact that Keanu Reeves is now media god.
Pretty much.
We're
the
going to
internet
talk
has
about
accepted
that.
it.
What the
Well, let's
hell
get
is
started. That was my backpack.
That was his backpack. He
Nothing
knocked it
valuables
over.
in there.
Oh, thank
Well,
God.
let's get down to business.
Get down to
To
business.
defeat
All right.
Hun.
There's some new books coming out this week. There's some interesting titles.
What's coming out this week?
This week, we have a new title that's spinning out of War of the Realms.
War of the Realms. I'm gonna get a soundboard.
That was a choice.
I thought that was a soundboard.
I thought that was a soundboard too.
Well, no, like an effects, like this.
So
this is an interface.
Okay.
This is it's a mixing board, but I need like a soundboard to like press all the buttons to do the cues.
We need to that's what we gotta do. We gotta make the back room just our podcast office.
That's what I'm saying.
Just
I'd
make
be
that the
down for like a studio area.
And just leave the whole thing set up in there. That'd be
Working with
great.
you for almost a week now, you have changed your mind about that back room like 3 times.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
This is the first time I've mentioned this podcast studio. What I said is that we're most likely going to turn it into the back room.
I get what you're saying to me.
Dollar stock.
Okay.
That's everybody
Spoiler
listen. We're going to be bringing back the dollar stock.
We are?
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, there's well
That's
no,
news
there
to me.
Yeah, we're going to bring it back. We're bringing it back fairly soon.
We are cool.
Wow.
It's just we've had a lot of stuff that we have purged from the main stock that we're we want people to be able to get, and if you didn't get it when it was full price, you can now get it for $1. It's gonna be great.
Fantastic.
It's gonna be amazing. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Instead of paying $20 for like 6 books, you can spend $20 on 20 books. It's gonna be awesome.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy.
Isn't it though? It's like we're giving things away.
Practically.
At October Country Comics, 246 Main Street, New Paltz, New York, 12561.
I was gonna make a joke about shameless
damn.
plugging, but I'm like, technically, doesn't that fall under the umbrella of everything we do?
I mean, isn't the fact that we call the podcast the October Country Comics Podcast, isn't that already a plug?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and aren't these nice, nifty,
Supported
fancy
by-
mugs we're drinking out of, aren't these plugs?
No, this is what you got.
Which
to
you
keep
saw
me
in the Fred
satisfied.
Van Lente interview. If you watch that video, which if you haven't, go watch it because he endorses this podcast in that video.
He does.
He does.
He does. It's a nice, lovely
I
endorsement.
I like the thing
that I sent you that you were supposed to.
I'm gonna post it with the. I haven't.
It's like a little. Have you shown Steven?
No, I haven't.
Have you
God,
watched the actual video?
I've watched like 4 minutes of it.
Yeah,
My
well,
phone died the other day. And
hopefully
I
it's
just didn't
up
go
by the
back.
time this episode goes up, but it's like a loop that I wanted it to be a recurring loop because I zoomed in on both of you doing this when you go, you read my mind. He goes, no, 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 and you go, no, 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 no. But it like cuts in between both of you, like it zooms in on both of your faces.
Great, it's amazing.
Why have I not seen
I'm so
this?
proud of it. I sent it to him to post on the other.
Why don't you send me these things?
Because I thought you were gonna see it. Oh, well, one, if you watched the video, you would know.
No,
and
I
two,
saw that,
like,
but I didn't see this GIF video.
Don't worry.
It'll be up.
It's gonna be up. It'll be up this week.
It's technically, it won't be a GIF, but if you like watch it on like Instagram, it'll keep looping.
Can we put like Christmas hats on and do it as the October Country Comics Christmas card? No.
I think we have to pay Fred for that.
I'm pretty sure.
I think if we put
if we make money for it, but if we're not,
yeah, we're not. Like I meant, just like send it out to people around the holiday.
Guess.
Happy holidays from October.
I mean, but isn't there like even if we're not making money on it, Fred could give us a cease and desist for using his likeness.
Yeah, did he already agree to the interview though?
Yeah, we're good to.
What does it matter? It's whatever I do with the footage, or Will does. I don't know where I'm getting this power from.
I guess I don't know. So
right when we get a cease and desist from Fred.
How do we get on this? I said War of the Realms and we just spiraled.
Yeah, what's happening with War of the Realms?
So coming out of War of the Realms is a new book. It's spinning out of War of the Realms, but a subcategory of War of the Realms, the New Agents of Atlas, which is is technically the all Marvel Asian team now. It's going to be written by Greg.
Go on.
No, so that book's actually going to have its own series too, New Agents of Atlas. But we also have another book spinning out of it called Arrow. That's AERO.
Not to be confused with DC's TV show Arrow.
Oh, stupid about.
So
ending after this upcoming season, I believe. Correct.
It is.
That's possible.
I want to see how they kill him off. I'm not even gonna lie.
Well, Felicity's already gone, so
Did they kill
gotta
her?
catch up. I don't know what they did with the character. All I know is that I know she left last season.
Okay.
But
so that's coming out. It's gonna be the main character is she's a new Asian character. They're calling her the first Filipina superheroine. Okay. So that should be interesting. It's written by Greg Pak, so
it'll be fun.
I mean, he made Amadeus Cho a household name. So
you think he'll ever show up in the movies? Because, they
I
still
mean,
have Mark Ruffalo to pass on the torch.
Yeah, if they ever, get the rights back to make Hulk movies, sure.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, does he count as yes, he's Hulk. I get
Hulk.
that.
Well, yeah.
But does he count?
I mean, unless you have no real room to make the character a character unless you do a Hulk movie. Because the whole thing is he was a Hulk fan. That's why he was like...
You could do a Champions movie. Young Justice. Slap him in instead of Hulkling. Which would just be upsetting, but...
Well, it would. And also, you'd lose out on the whole Wiccan-Hulkling relationship.
I would literally light Kevin Feige on fire.
Yeah, they're doing a whole one of the Marvel characters is secretly gay.
I have to point this out though.
I hope it's
we have prominent gay characters in the Marvel universe.
Why aren't we using them?
Why aren't we using them? Why aren't we using Hulkling and Wiccan or North Star and who's North Star's husband?
He's not a mutant. He's just a.
Is he just a human? He's just a human character. I thought he was a mutant.
I thought he was just a human.
I don't remember, but yeah, North Star. They're.
I don't know. After that last Lee Williams Extremist,
right?
After that, after issue 4 of Lee Williams Extremist, someone strike me down for saying it. I'm kind of all about gay Bobby Drake with North Star. I hope North Star and his husband get divorced.
Jeez.
She did a really good job. I'm sorry. And listen,
right.
We've all heard me complain about Bobby being gay. We've all heard about my distaste for it. This is the first time that I'm I read this book and I'm well, shit. Now I'm about it.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I guess, more power to him. I mean, I don't know. I've just never been a big fan of the
retconning of a character's sexuality for inclusion purposes.
Yeah, I mean, just make a new character, or if there's a character who we've never really explored that with, do it. I just don't
Hasn't Bobby dated several other members of the X-Men?
Almost every member of the X-Men.
Didn't he date Kitty Pryde at one point?
Yes.
He did in the movie.
He did in the movies. He did in the alternate universe. In the alternate universe, he bounced between Kitty and Rogue. Then you have the weird flirtation between him and Jubilee in the 90s, followed by Bobby with Mystique, followed by Bobby with Polaris, followed by Bobby with, the really cool scientist from the 90s with the Boston stuff.
Boston stuff?
Cecilia.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She's like a mutant genius.
Okay.
And I can't think of doctor. I can't think of what her name is, but she was a lot of fun. Who else did Bobby boink?
Well, I mean, nonetheless, isn't Agents of Atlas already a tie-in book?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Who else is on the team?
Agents of Atlas. I think it's Amadeus Cho.
The new Filipina character.
Yeah, Arrow.
Arrow.
Is Silk on there?
Silk's on there.
Isn't Wicked and Hulkling on there too?
No, I don't think so.
Are they even still around? Like, what
They
happened
are
to
still
them?
around. I don't think they're... I forgot who else is on the team. But yeah, no, but this book is like spinning out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like...
Was it an ongoing or a mini? I thought I read it was a mini.
I think it's 5 issues.
It's a mini.
I think it's 5 issues, and they're hoping it sells well enough to get a full series. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it could be fun. I'm hoping it hit. I think part of the thing is that it's the fan on his computer.
Thank you.
I think one of the things you have to take into account is that and Marvel's tried this before. They tried it before in like the late 90s when they did when they did that entire Tsunami line of books.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they did. They launched the new Inhumans book. They launched a new Namor book. They relaunched Thunderbolts, and they did it all in a really super manga style.
Oh, that was the
Tsunami
really
line.
Liked that Namor book.
But
that was one where he's like young, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't really Namor. Like
no,
but the thing
he was actually nice.
Yeah, so I mean that's the thing. Like because Arrow's coming out, and then you also have another new book spinning out of War of the Realms called Swordsman. Or Swordmaster. It's either Swordsman or Swordsmaster.
That's the one that I thought was Wiccan because he's very Wiccan costumey.
Yeah.
Minus the sword.
But he looks like...
Or with the sword.
But if you look at the character, the way he's drawn, which is even jarring in the War of the Realms, because it almost looks like they had someone else draw the characters besides the normal artist.
Weird.
Because they're drawn in the super anime style. And Swordsman literally looks like the guy from Berserk.
Marvel doesn't do well with anime. Like,
well, that's the thing. I think they're trying a new. I think instead of just doing a new line of books, like a straight up new line, like they've retooled the Agents of Atlas to be the new Agents of Atlas. That's where they're focusing those characters, and then you have everything okay?
Yeah, no. Keep going.
Okay.
You looked perplexed.
And then you have, the new Arrow and Swordsman books, Swordsman, Swordmaster. I can't remember which one it is, but I think you have those, and they're trying to see how that goes before they do. Like, they're not going to take a bunch of long-standing books and try and convert it to that again.
Yeah.
Like that. I think that's where their misstep was. I think by making new books and using that style to kind of capture that audience, like that helps. And then you have other characters show up in those books to kind of get the people who are just reading those books to kind of get introduced to the the Marvel proper. And I think that would be cool.
Okay.
But yeah, so hopefully that book does well. Next up we have coming out this week, The Return of Doom Patrol by Gerard Way.
Patrol.
Yeah, it's coming back. It's back.
Isn't that with Mikey too?
No, this one doesn't have his brother on it.
Okay.
This is him and Jeremy Lambert or Lambert, something like. It's one of the two.
Oh.
But yeah, Gerard Way's back. He's writing it again. It's still under Young Animal, so hopefully they have retooled their lineup of artists and writers to people who can put out a book.
Was that what that issue was?
That's what the problem with all of Young Animal was. It was just super delayed because no one got their work in on time.
Oh.
There was just like all these delays. One of the biggest delays was with Doom Patrol. And I don't know if that was Gerard Way's fault because he was working on Umbrella Academy or if it was the artist's fault. But yeah, so hopefully...
I'm interested to see with the success of Umbrella Academy TV show what that book does.
They might bring it back.
Like that's I'm wondering, Well, and even with Doom, because did you watch Doom Patrol?
Yeah, no, that show was weird, but it was pretty sweet.
You liked it.
It was pretty sweet.
Was it a higher budget than Titans was?
I imagine there was just as much sex.
Same, yeah. I hope so.
No, because everyone, all the main characters are either in bandages or a robot. No, you know what?
No, see the invisible
Brendan Fraser has a lot more sex in that show than you'd think.
Oh, that's a sentence.
You get to see Brendan Fraser's naked.
There's nothing wrong with Brendan Fraser.
I mean, he's not a looker anymore.
But he's not also, but he's not butt ugly either.
I mean, yeah.
You gotta give the guy credit. I mean, he's kept himself, pretty well considering the fact that,
I mean, like he broke his back. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he broke his back.
That's why he gained all the weight at that one point.
Yeah, because he was filming The Mummy and like broke his back in a stunt and couldn't do anything anymore. So he was just like, ugh. But then they, now he's back with Doom Patrol and he seems to be enjoying himself. So.
But the show, the new book sounds kind of interesting. It sounds like a lot of fun because you have, first off, they're going full Doom Patrol weird with this one. They're fighting a bunch of characters. They're fanatic fitness fiends from another planet.
Stop it.
It just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, Doom Patrol's always been really weird.
However, I don't know. I didn't read the end of the last series, but I'm guessing that I don't know if this must be coming off what happened at the end of the last series. Robot Man, Cliff Steele, is now human again.
Oh.
So
wasn't the last series they did like versus the Justice League or something?
Yeah, but that was just a crossover thing. Then they did something after that. They finished the series after that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I guess at the end of that, at least that's what I'm assuming, or maybe it just happens in this first issue. But I guess like Cliff Steele is back to being human, and he's trying to deal with being human again instead of being a robot.
Well, that'll be interesting.
So that'll be kind of cool.
You're saying these words, and all I keep hearing in the back of my mind is Christina Perry's "Only Human" song. 'Cause I'm only human. Thank you. Will knew what I was saying.
I breathe when I fall down.
I'm only human.
My heart, you beat me up. That's all I know.
Only human.
That's all I know.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Will.
I've heard that a lot.
I actually liked that song, and then I heard it 500 more times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what happens with all the singles. That's why I don't listen to the radio anymore.
I also rank that right up there with Jar of Hearts.
Personally, I'm not a sad, sappy song guy.
I gotta be in the mood for it.
Yeah. That's why, like, R.E.M's my favorite band. One of their top songs, Everybody Hurts. Me, can't listen to it. Just really don't like the sad,
what
sappy.
What about Everybody Bleeds?
I honestly, I've always kind of, I mean, I know it's your favorite band and all, but I've always found that song is just, it's just not good.
Everybody Hurts?
I just don't like that song.
I'll give it that it's a good song, and it has a good message behind it, because it's an anti-suicide song. Like, it's all about, because there was, like, a rise of, like, teenage suicide at that point. Yeah. And the whole message is, like, don't let yourself go, because everybody cries, everybody hurts sometime. Like, it's in the lyrics.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like, you here, listen. I get it. I understand, like, it's anti-suicide, and that's great. I understand that message. I feel for that message. But I also feel like when you're trying to reach out to people who are thinking about doing that, you need to have something a little bit more upbeat. Like,
I mean, maybe that's just something that,
for example,
however, maybe
I would understand.
Mm-hmm.
that song
maybe
is really good.
Maybe that upbeatness is not what they like. If I'm sitting there and like, let's for fun say I am suicidal. Pick the word.
You're gonna be listening to sad songs.
Exactly. I'm not gonna be listening to something with like this super upbeat melody, or I'm gonna be listening to something along that lines of that sad trombone.
I think it's just a really well composed, like Jean-Paul Jones did from what is it, Led Zeppelin? Is he from Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Jean-Paul Jones, the bass player.
Yeah.
He composed, or not composed. Well, I think he composed the strings for that song, but he produced their album that was on. So it's very well composed. I like the lyrics. It's just like
I don't know. I feel like putting them, making an anti-suicide song in this sad type of song, it's like, to me it almost feels like it's as effective as those signs you see on the bridge.
Don't jump.
Like, call this number if you're standing here. I'm like, I feel like if they're standing there, it's you're kind of like at a point where it's like, the first thing that they're thinking about is not calling that number.
No. Two things first. The first being, with that though, I mean, really logistically think about it. You're feeling alone.
Okay, but here.
If I'm looking at this sign in my face,
but think about this for a second.
Maybe
think about this for a second, though. Think about this
most
before.
Random podcast.
No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put this out there. We're almost a half an hour in, and we've gotten through 2 books, so we need to kind of just trudge through the books right now.
I do have to bring up one other thing though.
Okay.
With REM, I am wondering with the 90210 continuation, if there's going to be a scene with Shannon Doherty at Luke Perry's grave and you just hear "Losing My Religion." That's what I want out of this. You don't understand. That was Brenda and Dylan's prom song.
Did they say that they're actually going to start the show with his funeral?
I'm assuming they have to. I don't think they're going to start with his funeral. I think it'll be like the anniversary of his death. Like,
what if they just don't mention it?
You can't not mention it.
What if
No. He was 90210.
I understand that, but you also have to remember. I mean, Shannon Doherty is now back, and like with with Luke Perry gone, it's like
you don't.
You're gonna tell you don't think she's gonna make this entire show about her. You really don't think she's gonna take this moment to steal one last thing away from Luke Perry?
No. Because A, she killed him, and B, she's not, because this is the thing. The Heathers reboot got butchered to holy hell because of all the gun problems that were happening in the world.
Yeah.
So, like, that got butchered. Charmed slammed the door in front of every original cast member. This is the last thing that she has, other than Mallrats, which will never see the light of day. This is the last thing that she can...
Mallrats TV series so bad.
But this is the last thing she can make money off of, and she's already had her starting comeback because she beat cancer. Like, everyone loves a success story.
That's good.
We'll see. We'll
and
when
I love Shannon Doherty. I'm sorry.
With this podcast, we will do it. We'll give you. I promise. The week of the podcast, when that first episode comes out, you have permission. Me and will sit back, and we will give you a full half hour to do your review on the return of 90210.
Oh, God.
And I want this to be spectacular, and I want to know if it's everything you hoped it would be. Mark it on your calendars, everybody.
No.
The premiere of 90210, the return of the original cast.
Steven's review.
Steven is going to be doing a full review. So you be here, you listen.
God, now I got to make sure it's actually DVR'd.
What a fantastic announcement. And now back to the books.
Yeah, back to the real reason why people listen, not my nighttime soap bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, we could do one of them things that you want to do. We can do one of those reaction videos.
No, can we do a Mystery Science Theater?
No, we're just gonna do a full review podcast
of you watching it.
Yeah.
With your reaction, and you're gonna make your commentaries while we're watching it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do
it's gonna be great. It's
All
gonna
right,
be horrible.
So thanks.
Okay,
thanks.
so next up for this week, God, it's like old times, isn't it?
Yeah, poor
Yeah,
Will.
but
Will's not going to edit shit.
No, I've marked a point where I'm just gonna say like we gotta speed it up or I'm just cutting it.
Can you please just like leave my Shannon Doherty, Luke Perry?
Yeah,
comment?
It's gonna be great. It's like old times. It's just
anyway. All
Will's
right.
just being driven nuts by it. It's great.
I gotta cap us at like 11:15 at the latest. I've got stuff I've done.
Oh,
I
good.
Do
So we have
this,
45 minutes.
Yeah.
Devon, next piece.
So next up, we got there's a new character Marvel's introducing this week. Another new character, actually, Marvel's introducing, called Prodigal. The character is
Prodigal Son.
The book is called Prodigal Son. It's gonna be a 3-part story.
The Prodigal
It's happening
Son.
It's happening in Fantastic Four, Silver Surfer, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
I remember reading about
the character is gonna in this issue dealing with the Fantastic Four. The character crash lands in the Savage Land, stirs up a whole bunch of trouble, and the Fantastic Kazar has to go ask the Fantastic Four to help him because the barbarians are looking to overthrow everything in the Savage Land and take it over. So because of the Prodigal Son, whoever he is. Right now, he's just called Prodigal. It looks like he's going from what they're showing us. It looks like he's going to become the new Herald of Galactus.
Oh,
so that's going to be pretty cool, and we're going to see where that goes. But at least the first issue is written by Peter David, and Peter David is pretty awesome. I mean, I like a lot of stuff Peter David did. He wrote one of my favorite 90s Spider-Man series, which is Spider-Man 2099.
Was he the one that wrote Hulk for like a while?
Yeah, he's the one he's the one who dealt with a lot of the different Hulks. He dealt with a lot of like the Mr. Fix-It Hulk, the Gray Hulk, the Professor Hulk. Like he did a lot. He dealt with like all like being able to switch between which Hulk he needed to be.
He also did Supergirl.
Yes.
For a bit.
Did Supergirl. Peter David's done a lot of stuff. Peter David.
He's been around.
He wrote Aquaman for a while.
Yeah, I've seen his Hulk versus Venom book.
Mm-hmm.
That was a time.
That was
filled with many dated SNL references, even for the time. We're gonna beat you up. It was hilarious. You should have seen the video. Shouts to Comic Bop, but you know.
So if there's cosmic fans out there and you love the cosmic stuff and you love the growing cosmic Marvel universe, you like Galactus and Silver Surfer and Guardians and the Fantastic Four, check this out. Check this book out. It's gonna be fun. Again, it's a brand new character. And I mean, it looks like Marvel's really trying to do what they used to do.
Marvel can do whatever they want.
But they're doing what they used to do, which is they continuously create new characters, and that's who they were. All the way up through the end of the 90s, they were creating new characters. Nova, the New Warriors. Thunderstrike, all these, and most of these characters have all come back around. Some of them have even had their own series that have lasted.
Children, because Thunderstrike is dead. It's his son now.
Oh, that's right. He's got the goggles and the mace and everything. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of characters Marvel created. They weren't hit characters when they started,
but they're still
around, and a lot of times they'll have a series that comes up. For example, Nova. Now, granted, we haven't had an actual Richard Rider Nova series in a while, but it'll be coming back around, especially if the rumors are true and we're going to be getting Richard Rider on the movies anytime soon.
Oh, yeah. If he comes to the movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we'll have
it's instant comic book.
Yeah.
It's the comic book, re-origin story, all of that.
So next up for the new releases this week, this is for all you Super Family fans out there for DC Comics.
Oh boy,
Lois Lane #1 debuts this week. It's wow.
Listen, it's Greg Rucka.
Yeah, I mean it's
I have no.
Well, it's Greg Rucka and Mike Perkins.
Yeah.
So I mean the book. If anything, the book's gonna at least be a fun mystery book. I mean.
What else is Lois Lane gonna do? Of course, it's gonna be a mystery.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know how off the chain we're gonna let Greg Rucka be, because his mystery stories and like hard-boiled detective stories are really good. It's just they're adult. Those books are.
And this is not a Black Label title?
No, it is an in continuity title. Apparently Lois has found out the most dangerous secret of the DC universe. But now she has to prove it.
Is it the Watchmen thing?
I don't think so.
Doubtful.
Oh my god, imagine if they just drop it like she knows about Dr. Manhattan. That would be the only thing that would get me to buy that book, in all honesty.
No, it's all everything they're doing with the Super Family right now is tied in with the Leviathan stuff. So her whole thing,
which is not Manhattan related at all.
So basically the whole thing is like she's kind of found. I imagine it has to do mostly with
the
Leviathan organization and she's found out who's running it and who all the people and players are.
I hope it's Lex's son. Just some rando.
Lex Luthor the second.
The junior.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of Lex Luthors running around out
God,
there.
I hated the 90s where he had the red hair and the beard.
Well, that was Lex Luthor too, his Australian son, but it wasn't because it was him.
A clone or some some bullshit.
Was it a clone or was it just him with hair?
It was ugly, is what it was.
I think he transferred his consciousness into it, and it was a whole.
Well, he was palling around with Supergirl for a while. Him and Supergirl were like
that was Matrix. That was Matrix Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
That was like the blob.
Oh, the blob thing, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a character that's got a convoluted as hell backstory.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's all about Lois dealing with all the fallout of the Leviathan stuff, and so we're gonna see how that goes. There's also another book spinning out of the event Leviathan, which is the Jimmy Olsen book, which is coming out in a couple weeks. It's Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, man. It's back.
Tell me Perry White's getting a book too.
Who's writing the Jimmy Olsen?
I forget.
Jeff Johns.
Well, no. Like, this is the thing. Like, at least with Lois, Rucka makes perfect sense, especially if you read his super before New 52, Wonder Woman. Like, that makes sense for me. That is a no-brainer. You want to do a Wonder Woman book or a Lois Lane book? Oh, she's not going to have superpowers? Fantastic.
So, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, we're going to see. We're going to see how it goes. I mean, I imagine that the DC books, they're going to have things going on that, hopefully are going to be bringing it back.
Bringing it back. Wait, hold on. Bringing it back. I'll find a better echo effect.
Will you, though?
This will be so less awkward when all of you can hear it, too.
No, I love it being awkward.
Next up, we got... What's the next title, Steve? What are we talking about here next? Nasty Pills?
Nasty Pills, which
Nasty Pills.
It's a two-part story.
Okay.
That's nasty.
All right, what do we got? What's
The cover is delightful. It is looking like she is this this linebacker with a gun, but she's wearing a skirt and someone else's point. It looks great. The mob murdered her lover. Now she has love for revenge.
Nice. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no, it literally sounds hilarious.
It sounds like it's just Painkiller Jane is the Punisher.
Yeah, with football gear.
Wait, she actually has football gear, like the linebacker
I'm not joking.
thing.
She's literally wearing football gear.
Oh my god!
I feel like you have to put
looks ridiculous.
You have to put the clip in from the Dark Knight with this, okay?
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
What's the difference between you and me?
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
It's just like, and I'm confused as to where Nasty Pill. Like, I get it. She's on a wild rampage after her lover's death. She's apparently high and strung up, to all get out, and she thirsts for revenge. May Campbell is her name.
All right.
I really wanted to be like
got it.
May Pills.
This is more of a.
It's like a nasty pills. It's like a nasty like life truth kind of thing.
It looks hilarious.
Nasty things happen in life. You have to take those reality pills, man.
I think this is one of those times where we know nothing about something, but it's coming out, and we're giving you our reactions to the minimal amount of stuff that we know about it. Maybe you're interested. Come to the store, check it out, buy it.
And that is actually a book that is it coming out tomorrow? Or
yes.
Oh, okay. The next podcast I will give a review for it because it just sounds like the most absurd, delightful thing.
Well, there you go. You
the
go in
next
for
title coming up though that I'm actually kind of interested in. It's put out by pretty sure it's put out by Dark Horse.
Yep.
It's No One Left to Fight, and pretty much what this book is doing is it's basically set up for anyone who is like a fan of Dragon Ball Z and One Punch Man and like all those super crazy like beat 'em up animes and like and basically it's literally what it says. They have no one left to fight. They've beaten all the people they need to beat. So now they're like it's like a story about what do you do after that.
And also like if you were a fan of the coloring styles of Thor Ragnarok, this is straight up your jam. Like, it is all bright neon, like, 80s powder colors.
Yeah, sounds like an interesting...
Just flipping through the...
Sounds like an interesting story concept, but also boring if there just ends up being no fight whatsoever.
I like this.
I feel like it's meant to be like a comedy commentary on the genre.
Yeah.
So I can see it being a fun book. I think it's only a mini, so...
A comic
I would
book
imagine.
that asks, what does the fighter do when there's no one left to fight?
Roll credits. There's no one left to fight.
Oh, get it, girl.
Nickelodeon? Like, what was that?
Oh, yeah. I guess that was some, like, weird, like... It was up a key.
I guess.
I did not want to sneeze into that microphone for Will.
Oh, it would have been fun.
You could have just turned your head away. Like, you didn't have to...
Tried.
That looked painful.
It felt
when you
painful.
held it in.
But just next time, just sneeze right into the mic for him. Just so he just right for him.
I mean, that's not my mic that has to get touched after that.
It's fine.
If he sneezes right
why
into
we
that
have alcohol
filter.
swabs.
So then
man.
we have Sea of Stars, written by Jason Aaron. Who
Yeah, that should be...
I don't remember the last time Aaron did an indie book. Like, I'm kind of excited for this.
Black Monday. Oh, no, that was Hickman.
Yep, try that again.
Jason Aaron.
When was the last time Aaron did a Hickman? Or when
Last
was the
time-
last
last
time
time he did a
Aaron
Hickman
did a
book?
Hickman book?
No, I don't remember the last time Jason Aaron did an indie book.
I literally don't. So
see.
that's gonna be exciting.
I mean, what do we got? What's going on with the book? I mean, I'm curious to see what the story is.
What could it be?
I'm just stop it. It mentions the space Leviathan.
That's amazing.
I know it sounds silly, but for all the people that watched Yu-Gi-Oh, all I hear is that awful villain, the filler villain. That was like the dragons rising, and he worked for the Leviathan, and he would just scream out, "The Great Leviathan!" like every sentence this man said.
That was the season with the seal of Orichalcos.
Yeah, those were his two sentences.
That doesn't...
The Seal of Orichalcos and
The
Great
Great
Leviathan.
What was that villain's name?
Dax.
Was it?
It
no.
It began with a D.
Did it?
Yeah.
Was it that plain?
Yeah, it was some nonsense.
Ugh.
Stop it. We have space monkeys riding space dolphins.
This is amazing.
Maybe it's strange powers he's manifesting from writer Jason Aaron. Oh, Southern Bastards. There you go.
Well, yeah, he was writing that for a while.
Yeah, but I'm saying what was the last indie project he really did.
So, I don't know. I mean, Jason Aaron. I mean, he seemed, it seems like a pretty.
Oh, this is fun. They're comparing it to a brand new science fiction series with the scope and heart of a never-ending story crossed with the imaginative weirdness of Miyazaki in an intense galaxy-spanning adventure. So that's a book for your wife.
Yeah, she might like it.
She likes Miyazaki.
Yeah, but she likes Miyazaki, not Miyazaki things. So, but yeah, no, I mean, it sounds like it could be fun. I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, Jason Aaron's done a lot of really good stuff with the cosmic aspect on the side of Thor and the War of the Realms. So next up, we got Space Bandits #1. It's by Mark Millar. It's what? It's gonna be. It sounds like it's gonna be two different Firefly crews that betray their captains, and now they have to. Now they're both going after their crews for revenge, but they're teaming up to do it. Is that what we're gathering from the Space Bandits thing?
That's literally
Sounds
what we're
like
getting.
it.
Sounds like it. That's pretty. That sounds kind of fun. That could be cool. It's what? It's gonna be a 5-issue mini. Is that what's saying?
That's what it's saying.
Alrighty. That sounds like. That sounds awesome. I'm interested to see where it goes. I mean, it is Mark Millar. He does do some pretty decent space adventure stuff.
Yeah.
Interested
Let's go for
see
it.
where it goes.
Let's do it. Are those other books?
Yes.
Okay.
So next up, we got some comic news for you guys. Comic news coming at
get
you.
right
Comic news
into the news.
and other pop culture nonsense.
I like that idea.
So anyway, first up, we have the fact that DC is canceling its Vertigo line, or it's
which we lightly touched upon.
it's
last
not
issue.
necessarily canceling Vertigo or the titles. What it's doing is it's eliminating the imprints. So there's no more DC Vertigo. There's no more DC Inc. They're eliminating all the imprint titles, and they're just gonna go by age, essentially. Which is so now they have broken it down into 3 different age groups, which is gonna be DC Kids, which is obviously for all the kids related nonsense. Yes, William.
Yes, as we know, I'm
he
a
is
5-year-old child.
You're getting there. You're almost 6. It's okay.
You're 5.5.
You are 5.5. Your birthday isn't what? When is it? December.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're halfway there. You're almost 6. It's fine.
You don't live it on a prayer.
Yeah, it's nice. We started this podcast when he was 4, and now
Our little boy's growing. Oh my
He's
god,
growing
what the hell
up.
is happening?
I don't know. So DC Kids, that's gonna be like I said, all the kids books. Then there's gonna be DC, which is all the regular in-universe, in-continuity stuff. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman,
Green Lantern.
Green
the Flash.
Lantern, yeah, those guys. And now the Watchmen, apparently. But those guys. And then you're going to have DC Black Label, which is all the mature audience stuff.
The dark stuff.
So really,
smooth,
we could have just left it DC
stuff.
Vertigo, because Vertigo has always been DC's mature audience line.
Yeah, but DC Black Label sounds
I was going to say,
dark.
I do actually like the way it
serious.
sounds.
Okay, DC Black Label sounds like a choice of alcohol I'm picking up from my local Quickie Mart.
Ooh, I'm all...
You know,
Hi,
I mean,
can I get your best DC Black Label?
so
Can I get your best
like,
Black
the
Label,
thing is,
baby?
like,
Yeah,
it seems
I
to
like
me like
that.
what they're doing is the reason why they're doing it is because they want to like
Sell magazine?
No,
Bags
it
of boys?
just seems like aside from the fact that most of the DC Black Label stuff is all weird shaped magazine sized books. It's like, okay, instead of trying to reinvigorate Vertigo, we're just gonna slap
Dissolve
a new
it.
title on it and hope that that's what sells it.
I think that, and, it helps sell the magazine bags and boards.
Yeah. Because no one else is putting out magazine bags. There's one... Is it Black Mask or IDW that does that Amber book? The Amber...
That's IDW.
Amber Blake?
Yeah. No, but still, like, there's also the other books coming. Like they also have another set of books coming out for DC Black Label, under Joe Hill's new line of horror comics.
Oh yeah.
And they're all just regular comics. So it's like they're not even set on like they've never been very clear about what Black Label is, which is weird. Like when they originally announced Black Label,
we were getting the 3 books.
Yeah, I mean we were getting
we were getting the Joker's book.
Yeah,
then we were getting Frank Miller's Superman Year One or whatever it was called.
There's supposed to be a Wonder Woman story.
Woman 1.
And I think they always said that the
Azzarello.
No, Batman Damn was the first one. But yeah, like it was gonna be like it was gonna be something similar to DC Earth 1, which I guess now DC Earth 1 is gonna fall under Black Label because it's basically all stuff that isn't in continuity. It's all the superhero stories that are more mature.
Why didn't they just call it DC Elseworld label?
I don't know.
You could have brought that back.
That would make more sense.
So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it's like if you're just doing good books, you don't have to find gimmicks to dress them up with. Just put out good books. And if you put out good books and people are reading the titles, then people tell other people about those titles.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you can't keep wanting to just make, like, you can't want Avengers money out the gate. Like everyone now like thinks, oh, we're gonna start making Avengers money right out the door the minute we announce something. Well, no, it took Marvel 5-6 years to prove that Avengers was something to watch.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. It's like you guys have to work towards it. Build it up. You can't just keep changing things on a whim because, well, that didn't work. We're not making billions of dollars. Like, we tried it for 2 months. It didn't make us any more money. Like, they just announced DC Inc., 4 months ago?
What the hell was DC Inc.?
It was supposed to be intro young reader books to prominent DC characters.
Okay.
And it was geared towards, like, it wasn't for kids.
It was young. It was YA.
It was preteens. It was for preteens.
YA.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was supposed to be. And now I guess they're just lumping it all into DC Kids, which is like, how can you do that when some of those books aren't for kids? It's very misleading. I think it's gonna get changed in another 6 months again.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think by December we're gonna have a whole new setup of DC books.
I think just DC has a really bad business model. I think, in all honesty, I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they know what's going on. And in all honesty, I don't think DC's ever going to endorse this podcast because we crap talk them so much. Their writers, their head CEO people.
Not all of their writers.
No, but
like Tom King.
Like the big ones.
What about Tom King?
Scott is so big.
Tom King's a big writer.
That's true.
And I'm not counting Rucka because, let's be real,
Rucka's everywhere.
Rucka does what Rucka wants. If he wants to work for Marvel tomorrow, he will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, with all these DC labels, it's just, I just don't know what we're gonna do. I mean, I don't know how long it's gonna last for. It's just New 52, Rebirth. All of a sudden, Rebirth turned into the DC universe, and now we have all these other things, and then they all went away, and now we have all these new things, and
They just don't know how to brand it.
No,
like, should we do it as a new thing so that people think it's a good jumping on point, or should we just keep it at the regular because the old comic fans like that?
Hey, but you know what? How about we just go with the company? Like, how about we go with the business model of the company that's, I don't know, whooping us every week?
Yeah.
Like,
Hulk's outselling Batman.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The Immortal Hulk, it's just so good. Like, that's,
I mean, I've heard it's a really good book, but
so good.
It's outselling Batman. Like
honestly, if Al Ewing finishes up Immortal Hulk, if he's done with his story by the end of the year, I would be astounded, absolutely astounded, if we don't find out that the person taking over regular Batman is Al Ewing when Tom King leaves to do Batman Catwoman. Because they haven't announced who it is yet.
I can't wait for that book.
And if Al Ewing is under contract with Marvel until his Immortal Hulk run is done, that could be. Once Al Ewing hands in all his scripts for Immortal Hulk, his contract's fulfilled and he can take whatever projects he wants.
DC could take it back in this immortal wrestling event between
Batman.
these two.
But what I'm saying is, like, Marvel Comics, right? We've got Marvel Comics. That's it. Now, however, we have the Star Wars line. But it's still
I don't count that as a...
No, but it's its separate line of books, but we don't make a big deal about it. We know it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
And now Conan. Like, we have, and Conan has his own run of titles, which is on its own. Now, granted, Conan ties in with it. Apparently, we are possibly getting them. I'm very wary about what this means, but in the Marvel Comics 1000 issue, the Star Wars characters are going to show up.
Ew.
So I don't know if they're going to try and tie it in to Marvel proper.
That's risky business, risky plays.
To be fair, it's not like someone's going to yank the licensing for Star Wars all of a sudden, unless Disney sells it, which they're never going to do that.
That'd be funny as hell.
So, now, however, you can... Why not? It's in a galaxy far, far away. You're going to tell me that Reed Richards can't just all of a sudden, we got shot halfway across the universe. Mm. Oh, what's going on?
I got it.
I've always been yelled at by the thing, I would accept a mini-series that is completely out of continuity for just shits and giggles if the Empire just tried to invade the Marvel Earth. Like the classic original movies Empire just onslaughted.
What was the nonsense in the episode movies, episodes 1 through 3? What made you a Jedi? Midichlorians?
Yeah.
Just no one talks about that.
I know we don't talk about it. But what if it was a very specific form of the X gene that just gave you all the same power?
Did you hear George Lucas just came out with George Lucas was just like, I can't be silent anymore. I must release what I was going to do for 7 through 9, like episodes 7 through 9. And it was going to be a whole they were going to shrink down and find midichlorians in people's blood. There was going to be shrinking powers or shrinking technology, and they were going to really explore the midichlorian thing. No, it's real.
Are you sure?
Moving on before this becomes another.
Okay.
Weird
Okay. No. But again, I think that's the thing. Marvel just calls it Marvel. There aren't 16 different Marvel imprints.
No.
And honestly, the only time you see and then Marvel does it right though when there is another imprint. Marvel Action isn't published by Marvel. It's IDW. Licensing Marvel characters to do a children's line of books. So that way you can get people in... Sorry.
No,
that
fine.
came through.
No, that's fine.
Yes, I just smacked my hand on something. So, it was probably very unpleasant for William, who's wearing the headphones.
No, it didn't really actually come through the mic.
No,
because you hit the bass. So
okay,
it didn't,
cool.
vibrate all the way out.
Just smacked me because I burnt the roast.
Yes. Well, you always burn the roast. And I don't know how many more times I can tell you. I've already told you twice.
Yeah. I mean, what's the next piece
this
of
is
news?
not a sexist podcast.
No.
What is yeah.
So, in lieu of all the things happening with DC, surprisingly enough, the one good thing that's been announced is the Joe Hill
you did mention
line of horror books, which I'm super excited for. I'm a big horror fan. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get back to this idea of, hey, let's do these
that's
kind of Tales from the Crypt kind of things.
That's also something that DC has over Marvel.
The horror books?
They've always done really good horror books over Marvel.
Yeah, but you know what, though? However, you gotta remember, though, in the 70s, that's not necessarily true, because Marvel had Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah.
That was, Tomb of Dracula, the Marvel Monsters... that stuff. Don't get me wrong. House of Mystery was DC, and that's where a lot of characters like Swamp Thing came from, stuff like that. However, given the fact that there's been so much trouble with with the license holders of Tales from the Crypt and the old EC comics, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that Disney's going to buy the license for all that too. If they buy that, then they're going to have horror comics galore.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There won't be enough room on a store wall to put Marvel. But so anyway, we have a lineup of books coming out from Joe Hill for DC. Joe Hill, for everyone who's not familiar, is the son of Stephen King. He's written a lot of critically acclaimed horror novels like Heart-Shaped Box, Horns, Nosferatu, which is now currently an AMC television series, and he also has another series coming up for Netflix based on his comic book, Lock and Key. So I think this is also part of what this is. I think they're getting Joe Hill to write these comics so they have stuff to put on their DC streaming service, which is, from what I understand, the content is pretty sparse as far as new content. I mean, what's on there? Well, new stuff
in the
DC streaming service.
Other than Swamp Thing?
For shows and like their own content that they're putting out.
I mean, nothing since they canceled Swamp Thing.
So
I haven't heard anything.
Titans and Doom
we've
Patrol?
got Titans, Doom Patrol, Outsiders, the second half of the new season of Outsiders, which I'm really excited for.
You have that Harley Quinn show coming out.
You do have the
Harley Quinn show coming out. I know how you feel, but it's still something that's new.
So I mean, I think what these books are going to be, they sound like they're ongoings. And they sound like what they're doing is they're creating this line of books so that way they have new content to make into shows, whatever takes off. So first up, we got a book called Basket Full of Heads, which is written by Joe Hill. It's the artist's name is Leo Max, and it's about a young couple in New England they're house sitting a mansion filled with Viking artifacts. I mean, this has The Shining written all over it. I mean, I don't imagine that this is going to go well. I mean, they automatically, like, right away, they're in the middle of a storm with home invaders coming in. Like, I mean, this is... oh,
boy.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. But, yeah, so, I mean, the woman... there's a girl and her boyfriend who are the house sitters. And I guess, like... she goes to hide, and when she comes out, she can't find her boyfriend anywhere. She's alone in this house. There's home invaders, and I imagine there's going to be something about all these Viking artifacts. It's going to go nuts.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Dollhouse Family, which just sounds amazing. I was kind of excited. It's written by Mike Carey, and it's written by Mike Carey and Peter Gross. Mike Carey if you're not familiar, he was the one who wrote Lucifer, which again also a thing that turned into a hit show. So you've got Joe Hill and Mike Carey now who are they're already good horror writers. They have things under their belt. They have franchises that are getting launched. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, the Dollhouse Family is going to be dealing with a character. Her name's Alice. She gets this. She receives a big, beautiful dollhouse, and it's you can already see where this is going. I mean, she. So I guess like when she was a kid, she gets this dollhouse, and the idea is that as she gets older, she comes back to get the dollhouse, and there's some stuff that kind of goes awry. So, and I mean the cover to it is kind of it's a little unsettling as it is. So William will cue these in when it comes up on the podcast.
What, each picture?
Each picture.
Yeah.
I also the next one coming up, you gotta pop this title's this cover. Frightened Steve.
It really
I
did.
scrolled down to this one book, the one I'm about to name, and he was like, oh,
that
just
happened.
jumped back. It's a book called Daphne Byrne. It's written by Laura Marks and it's drawn by Kelly Jones. Everyone who is a Batman fan knows who Kelly Jones is. Yes. Drew a lot of Nightfall, a lot of '90s Batman. Had
Just
a lot
did
of
that Scarecrow Batman mini.
So Daphne Byrne is it's set in 1800s in New York, and the main character Daphne Byrne she finds out that she has some type of insidious entity living in her body, and it's all gonna deal with that. So I feel like we're getting a little bit of stuff from like The Grudge, some poltergeist kind of stuff going on. So that could be really fun. And then you have this one sounds pretty interesting. This other book, The Low Woods. It's written by Carmen Maria Machado. And basically it takes place in a Pennsylvania mining town that gets infected with a virus or plague that basically eats your memories.
Interesting.
Nice.
So that could be, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I already get terrified about just like real life things where you just start losing your memories randomly. That stuff that freaks me out.
Yeah, that's scary enough.
The thing where you're just like sitting there and you don't like. I mean, I guess you don't know that you don't know, but when you're hanging out when you're around someone who is just like, they don't know where they are anymore. It's like,
yeah, that's not even like a horror. That's a real thing that people get.
No, I know, but like now to do that in like a horror setting like that, it's just that's already terrifying enough.
It's a really scary thing, Andrew.
Yikes.
No, man. Like, I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've never been in that situation where I've like talked to someone who's called me the wrong person and thinks I'm somebody else. Like, I've never had that happen.
No, that's
and I
scary.
don't envy anyone who has. Like, that's just crazy.
Not that hard.
But you know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So the other book coming out is called, I think this is the last one. I think it's 5 books they're putting out. So yeah, this is the last title. This one's also written by Joe Hill. The artist hasn't been announced yet, but it's called Plunge. Yeah, Steve?
I don't know why it tickles me.
Why?
I just have this image of like this monster toilet that needs plunging.
No, it actually
That's what I have.
it's actually a book that takes place in the 80s, with a highly advanced research vessel that's set up in the Arctic Circle. So it's and I guess like the book starts out in the 80s and then it jumps like 40 years because I guess the vessel like disappears and then it reappears and now like they send a salvage team after it because it's like emitting a distress signal. So I'm like, okay, I'm down.
You're there.
Like it's always ominous when something pops up and they're like, because Will, how many sci-fi shows have you watched? Star Trek or anything else? Because it always goes well when you find out, hey, that ship's been missing for 100 years, but it's sending out a distress signal. Let's go investigate.
Alien.
That's never a good idea.
It's never a good idea. It always goes bad.
That's a big no-no.
Or,
Ooh.
yeah, no, it
Not
was
for me.
all horrible.
Yeah.
Can only go wrong from there.
Oof.
But yeah, no, but another thing that DC just got, which is really interesting to me, because you figure that they would have just put it on their own streaming service.
Yeah.
Sandman. Neil Gaiman's Sandman is going to be on Netflix, and they just got approved for an enormous budget.
I really hope that Joseph Gordon-Levitt finally gets to be Sandman, because that's all he's wanted.
Oh, that's right, because he was going to be in the
He
movie,
was supposed
right?
to be in the movie.
Oh.
Yeah, he was.
And I'm really hoping that he gets,
I'm more interested. You know what? I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've read. I haven't read all of Sandman, but I've read a little bit of it. And honestly, he's not even the most interesting character.
it's everyone else.
I'm so interested to see who they're going to cast as his sisters, because they're all nutter butters. Death is a lunatic.
I want to see. Death isn't lunatic. It's the other one that's a little nuts.
What's
Death isn't a lunatic. Death is more fun time death. Like, she's a good time. Like,
so it's like it's Death when she was like in her teens before she meets Thanos.
yeah. Well, no,
Nice.
like she's very matter of fact. Like, it's like, yeah, this sucks. This happens. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
like, truthfully, if I were to go tonight and like I see that little misshapen, umbrella loving unk eye chick at my bedside, I'd be like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome.
Nice. If everyone, I'm sure everyone's heard already, but just in case you haven't, Marvel Studios made one final push to take the top spot of all time grossing movie from Avatar. They re-released Avengers Endgame. Yeah.
Because why
That's
not?
crazy.
So
Yeah. Have you seen that meme where it's like, he's never beaten me? Actually, yes, you fought him and he beat you. Well, he's never beaten me twice.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
a meme about that, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
What's there? If what you told us is right, and it's not extra footage in the movie itself, but just a Stan Lee tribute and some after credit scenes, or not even that, like a deleted Hulk scene,
yeah.
all right. I'm not even gonna play it. Like I'm still gonna go see it.
Oh,
like,
are you?
just the one time.
Well, it's already out.
you know.
I don't know if I have it in me.
It's out.
Oh, is that out?
I've
Yeah,
seen it
okay.
twice. Not being funny. The second time I fell asleep.
It's a long movie,
It is.
and
But
there
that-
are
But it was
points
also
that
free comic book day that day, and
yeah.
It's I don't know. I mean, it's a little. It's already a long movie, and it's like if you're not putting anything extra in the movie that I need to see,
why am I watching?
it's like why am I gonna go? And it's not even like they're putting it out at like a discounted price. Like, hey, it's a re-release. Like, we're only gonna charge you $5. Like, no, you're paying full ticket price for this.
No.
And
I'm
it's
gonna
like,
go to like a cheap matinee.
I'm
If
not
I
and
go
you,
to
and you
going
know
to that.
and you know what it is, and then it's not even like they're even sending them new reels. What they're doing is like, hey, we sent all the theaters a new little a little thing to
Little
load up on their
MP4 file.
yeah, a little MP4 file. We're gonna load up, and you just make sure to play that at the end of the movie. I was like, I don't need that.
Are we allowed to talk about Endgame spoilers?
Yes, yeah.
Fantastic. So, or
Just keep in mind we're
Yeah.
no, this will be quick. Short of like them writing Natasha back alive, like that's the only like if someone said, yeah, they saved Black Widow. Sorry, gotta go.
Yeah, no, I mean there's a lot of
So
it doesn't even make like I understood when like Dark Knight got re-released months later because people
Heath
were
Ledger
like,
died.
well, no, not even that Heath Ledger died. Heath Ledger died before the movie even came out.
No.
But what I'm saying is like they re-released it because they're like, hey, there's not a lot of stuff coming out in January. Let's re-release the movie to kind of because it was an Oscar push.
Yeah.
We want it to be fresh in people's minds for the Oscars, and they re-released it. We got re-released for like 2 weeks, and it was yeah, you were, but it's still the same problem. You paid full price for a movie that was already in theaters.
yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. Like, this is like...
And it's different if it's like when we went to go see Batman: Mask of the Phantasm. That's
Yeah.
different.
That's like an anniversary re-release.
Yeah.
It's a special thing. This movie, they re-released the movie. What? It's only been out of theaters for 2 weeks,
If that.
if that, if it's even been out of theaters.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if it
I don't think it
has.
has.
Um,
Do you think like the movie theaters now have like 2 different versions? Do you want to see the extended one?
Probably.
Or do you want to go see
I
the
can almost
regular
guarantee.
one?
Yeah, you probably have an option, like which is it doesn't
Whatever.
matter because it all goes in the same kiddie pool
Yeah.
anyway. Like,
So,
but yeah, the last thing that we have topic wise is the rumor that
The legend.
this
the mystery.
this is not Anastasia.
Go on.
We're not talking about Anastasia.
We just
That's a whole different podcast. No. This week is this is the release of Walking Dead 193. For anyone who hasn't read 191 and 192, I'm not going to spoil anything for you.
I will.
Some big stuff. No spoilers for 191 and 192. Some big stuff happens in Walking Dead, but the rumor is that this week's issue is a surprise final issue of the series. So it's gonna be something if that's true. I don't know if it is. Like we'll find out when we put the books on the racks. But yeah, that's what everyone else can. Any Walking Dead fans.
Sorry about it.
Hit your local comic shops. Find out if it's true.
That's a shock because I thought the guy was like, "I'm never gonna stop."
I think when you're not selling books, and you have
That's true when it doesn't sell.
Well, I think it sells better as a graphic. Working a difference here, but working for a major retailer when it comes to books. I mean, we'd have like 10, 15 people the day it came out, the first hour it came out, that they knew we were getting it.
Yeah, but the thing, that and the fact that, but it's gotten to the point now where the graphic novels only really sell when the show's going on.
Yeah.
And the show's lost so much steam.
Mm-hmm.
And the comic itself is just... And the comic itself has lost a bunch of steam to the point where the last two issues, it really kind of feels like a gimmick kind of thing. That he wrote these issues because they're like, okay, look, Robert, the book isn't selling as well anymore. So we'll see what happens. Am I going to be surprised if it's the final issue? Maybe, maybe not. I wouldn't be surprised if it keeps going. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends. I think at this point it's just whatever's going to happen with it's going to happen with it. So we'll see what happens. So hopefully you found this podcast very informative. Make sure to click that like button on the bottom.
Indeed.
Follow us, subscribe to our page.
Oh yeah.
And definitely like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and follow us on Instagram. We got some new comic collections in. Check out the Instagram and Facebook page. Woo! Yeah.
We're also going to be at the Highland Comic Fest this Saturday.
The Highland Library Comic Fest.
Yeah.
July 6th.
10 to 4.
10 to 4.
So,
we're going to be right near Scott Lobdell, who's also going to be there.
Are we going to be right next to him?
We can try. We can try. We can be like, hey, we want to be right next to Scott.
We demand it.
If anyone's out there, if you need books for Scott to sign, we're gonna have them.
Yeah.
We will, and I hope Will takes a picture of me pointing because I want you at the Highland Comic Fest buying.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Books.
I want you.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, that's happening.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome. All right, and. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we're good. I think everything's awesome.
Thanks for listening,
Thanks for checking out the October Country Comics podcast. This is Devon.
Will.
Terry Hatcher.
You are not pretty enough to be Terry Hatcher. I'm sorry.
Oh, jeez. All right. Bye, guys.
Aww.